A lipoma, and this is a very common tumor that cats develop, and cats die from these. What happens is they develop a tumor here over the thoracic cavity, and it grows and grows and grows, and it actually pushes on the lungs, and then they have breathing problems, and you eventually have to put them down. So it's not unusual for us to find euthanized cats that have these lipomas. I just had a cat that died last December from this. Nothing you can do. I mean, if you want to spend several $1,000s, you can go in and they can surgically remove these, and they're going to grow right back, because you're probably not going to have your cat have chemo and all that shit. So I'm just going to cut this off, okay? It's just a cancerous tumor. Bless this little heart, her little heart. All right, you know what, I'm not even bothered with that. All right, so what I want to do is, first thing I want to do is identify my linea alba. That's real simple. We know where it is. It's right down the center, right? And then we're going to cut it. We're going to start up here. Now mine's already kind of open up here, so I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to cut this cat all the way down the linea alba, all the way to the groin. Now, be careful, and it takes some practice. I know it's kind of hard. You've never done this. Up here, you're probably going to have to go a little bit harder. Down here, you're going to go a little bit softer, because there's no bony covering here, okay? And you don't want to slice through all those guts. So I'm just going to start right here, and I'm just going to make a cut right down the center of this cat. If I need to go deeper, I will. Now, once I open it, I'm just going to cut it open down here. So I'm going to start down here, opening this up, and here, open it up, cut right up the center. When I get here, I'm going to meet some resistance. That's the sternum, okay? So it takes a little bit of muscle, a little bit of elbow grease to get through there.
So we're cutting through the breastbone and stuff then too?
Yeah, I'm just cutting right through that sternum. And you're gonna hear some cracking and nastiness. And I've got like the worst pair of scissors for this. So I'm just cutting through the sternum in the ribs. All right, so now I'm gonna pull this back. Oh wait, there's another little bit of resistance here. Here's our diaphragm muscle. And I'm gonna cut this as close to the peritoneum as I can. So I'm just gonna, so I can look at the diaphragm. Just cutting it like so. And then I just wanna finish opening this up. Now, this is something you don't have to do, but I'm gonna do it. Because you've got a lot of hands. If you guys just want to have somebody retract, you can do that. But I don't have that option. So I'm gonna just cut mine off. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. Because it's a little, doesn't feel real nice going through those ribs. Sometimes it just creeps people out, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm just cutting this all off because I want you to be able to see inside of my cat from where you're standing.
What is all that brown stuff?
This is just dried blood and
okay.
schmutz. Okay, that's the medical term. Schmutz.
Schmutz.
Yeah, it's just dried blood and crap in there. Okay. So I'm just cutting this side off too. And it's, you know, it's difficult up here. It's not easy to get through this, but you'll figure it out. All right, so once I've got that stuff off, now I want to open this up here. I didn't go far enough up here. I just want to open this right here. All right, so now I've got my throat open, basically. And sorry. Okay.
Oh my God.
Now this is.
I can't handle that.
This cat actually has a thymus. That's what that is. So I'm going to pull that off because we're not going to study that because I already said why. Because some cats won't have it. So I'm just going to take that off of mine because I want you to see what's underneath it. And what's underneath it, as I open this, we're going to see this structure here. This is called the trachea, okay? I'm going to lift it up here. Here's our trachea. And the trachea is the windpipe. And you can see, there's some fascia on it. I'm just going to kind of take some of that off so you can get a better look at what it looks like. The trachea is your windpipe, and you'll see it's got this like kind of striped appearance. If you run your thumb over it, you can feel those are kind of ridges. Those are tubes of cartilage. They call them cartilaginous rings. And what that does is it holds that trachea open. So the airway's always open because we always want residual air going down into our lungs. So there's our trachea. Now deep to our trachea, we're gonna find our food tube, which is called the esophagus. This might be a little difficult to find because sometimes it's clinging to the back of the trachea. But this is a flattened tube. So I'm just gonna pull it up here. It's just stuck to the back of my trachea, right there. There's my esophagus.
It's so little.
It's not, it's just that there's all this crap in the way. So I'm just gonna open this up a little bit more so that you can see. And I'm trying to preserve these vessels because I wanna show you those later. So there's our esophagus, okay? The trachea is gonna go all the way down and divide off into the lungs. The esophagus is gonna go all the way down, goes through the diaphragm, goes into the stomach. So when you swallow, the food goes down the esophagus, and it's only open when you're swallowing. And this is your air tube, okay? All right, so there's the trachea. Now, going down farther into the chest. Shouldn't be too hard to spot. This is the heart, all right? So this big bulbous thing is the heart. It's still covered in the pericardial sac. That's what this is, the pericardium. If you choose to, you can cut the pericardium off and you can take a look at the heart. You can open it if you want to, I don't care. I'm just cutting that pericardium off so you can see the heart a little bit better, and mine's kind of gross and juicy here. Kind of gross. Now, on either side of my heart are going to be my lungs. That's what this is. Here, 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 here. They look like petals, right? Those are the lobes of the lung. So it's not like the cat has 2 lungs, just like we do. But in humans, we have 2 lobes on the left side and 3 lobes on the right side. The cat has 3 lobes on the left side, 1, 2, 3, and 4 lobes on the right side. 1, 2, way down here, 3, and then way down there, 4. You don't have to know that, but the reason I point it out is because you're gonna go, okay, here's a lung, here's a lung. Well, if that's the lung, what is that? And what is that? Well, it's still lungs, okay? Those are the lobes of the lung. Over here and over here. And then this is that diaphragm muscle. See how it's striated? That's muscle tissue. That is what's gonna separate your thoracic cavity from your abdominal cavity, okay? So this is how we're gonna start. In your book, you see heart, trachea, esophagus, lungs, diaphragm. I'm gonna have you go to your cats and do what I just did. Cut it up the linea alba, open it all up. It's gonna take you a while. Open it up, find your trachea, clinging to the back. You'll find the esophagus, identify the heart, the lungs, and the diaphragm. Okay? Let's go do that. Your cats are on that back table.